All right, so today I'm going to talk about a subject that is probably on a lot of people's minds right now with winter coming, is how to winterize your bus or RV. So I got some of this stuff. I call it pink stuff. You get this at any hardware store. This time of year, it's RV antifreeze. So this is not the stuff that goes in your engine, and this is not wiper fluid. It is specifically for winterizing your RV. Now, you could put this stuff in your fresh water system, but it takes a while to flush out, and I don't particularly want to take a chance of drinking this stuff because I don't know what's in it. So I use this stuff in my gray and black tanks, and I drain my hot water heater and I blow out my lines. I'll blow out my air lines with a little bit of compressed air. So we'll go over that. First order of business is put the pink stuff in the black tank. Now, I've previously drained my black tank, and this is just for whatever little bit is left in the bottom of the tank. I'm also going to put some in the gray tank. So to get it in my gray tank, I'm just going to dump a fair amount down the sink here. Now I'm going to follow it up with a rinse to get it out of the traps and whatnot. Now I suppose if you were in, a really cold part of the country, you might not want that little bit of water sitting in your trap, but I'm in Oregon. It doesn't get too damn cold in this part of the state. But it can, it might get down in the 20s. I'm gonna go ahead and put some in the kitchen sink too, just for giggles. So I'm doing this step before I drain my freshwater tank because I'm gonna, chase this down with a little bit of fresh water, right? So, now I got to drain my freshwater tank and flush my lines. I'm not drain my hot water heater. All right, I switched my water pump off. I'm going to access my hot water heater. So, all these hot water heaters are going to have some sort of a low point drain. Nice. Mine is right here, and it looks like somebody left a tool in here for me to turn that with, which is nice. So I'm going to get a screwdriver and drain this. And remember, shut the pump off. I'm working in my shop right now, so I'm using a bucket to catch this water. My old coach had a bolt there, like a large nut thing to take off. Somebody's put a nice little petcock on here to make it a little bit nicer to drain. So that's an upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and drain this. Probably take a couple dumps with a bucket. So of course make sure you got your hot water heater off before you do this. Now, if something's going on here, it's like the finger in the straw, right? I quit draining, I only got that much water. Well, you need to open a hot water valve somewhere so that you can let this out. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and flip the little pressure relief valve here. Okay, I dumped the bucket once so far. Probably 10 gallons in here, maybe a bit more, maybe 12. Now I made one of these. This is a blowout fitting. So it's got a hose end thing, and an adapter to an air chuck. So if you got access to compressed air, you can blow out your lines with one of these. So we'll be doing that here in a minute. You can buy these, but I just made one. Okay, I finished draining the hot water heater, closed it all back up, and now I'm going to pull the bus outside because I got to drain my main water tanks, and there's a lot to it. So here we go. 6V92. There was a little snort of black, or not black, there was a little puff of smoke at the beginning there. Cleared right up. Beeping's my low air. Free Detroit lovers. Tank drain valve, which in my case was under the bed, and that's where my water tanks are, and turn it on, and I am draining my tanks. Now I thought that this, which is an obvious low point for the plumbing system, would do the job, but I got nothing coming out of that, nothing. So it is not a tank drain mechanism. So a separate tank drain on this coach that would serve to drain water out of the plumbing system, but would require the pump to be operating. So I finished draining my main water tank and shut that valve off. And you know, I've closed up the valves on the hot water heater here. I still have my 2 sink valves open inside, and I'm attaching this thing to my freshwater fill. I apologize for shooting this video in the incorrect orientation. Still new to this YouTube stuff, and I was more focused on my work than proper presentation, so sorry about that. So I've attached this air fitting to my pressurized water line that hooks into my water system. I have drained most of the pressure off of my compressor and shut it off. doesn't take very much pressure to do what we're going to do right now. And I will go ahead and hook up the line, and we'll immediately hear gurgling when that happens. So I can hear gurgling in the hot water heater. As I come in, to the sink, we are draining excess water out of the two sinks. This one here as well. And we're draining that water down into the tanks that I've previously added pink stuff to. So, you know, no major concerns of freezing there. If you're worried about the traps, you could add a little bit of pink stuff to the traps. Don't forget about your toilet. Letting that flush that out. Because there's stuff in there. These valves in the back of this thing can freeze and get damaged and whatnot. Still doing it. Still coming out of there. Don't forget about your shower. And my pressure's dropping enough that I'm going to have to shut some valves probably to get the desired effect. Give some of that air a place to go. So there we go. I shut the kitchen sink off and we had some more pressure coming this way. Gurgling that out. This is still doing its thing. Toilet's still got to do its thing. So I think I'm out of air, so I got to go turn the compressor back on, but with everything open, it's not really going to have a chance to build much. I'm going to open that back up. Okay, compressor's back on. Do not allow your compressor to build to a lot of pressure. Shower's on, pretty much done. You can hear air coming out of it. Toilet seems flushed. This is still doing stuff. This is hissing. I'm going to turn that compressor off because I don't want too much pressure coming into the system. Get to the low point drain. That's the low point drain for the plumbing system. And it required air hooked to it to kind of convince it to do its thing. Now I thought that this red line was going to be, this red pipe was going to be a low point drain with some sort of a weird valve on the back of it there, but it turns out that's a pressure relief. So that is not drain. I had to hook up a hose to that. I don't hear any gurgling in there. That thing's making a bunch of noise. Go inside and see what's going on. So not much happening here. Just sounds like air. I did have to turn the compressor back on. It's air. Sounds like air. Air. forget to check stuff like this. You know, it's easy to forget about other little faucets and fittings you might have, like this drain hose or this sink sprayer hose. And giving the hot water heater a final check, just air coming out. So everything's blowing air. You know, low point, the sinks, the shower, the toilet. So I'm satisfied that I got all the water out of the system, or at least anything that's going to cause me a problem. You got to remember to check other things you might have, like, you know, if you have water filters or pressure tanks, things like that. Your considerations may be different than mine. Just use your head and think things through and make sure you're doing the right thing for your coach. It was kind of a busy day today, running hard. Lots of stuff to try and button up on the bus and the house to get ready for winter. I hope I remembered everything. I also checked the engine coolant, made sure that was all good. We just did a flush on it when Scott Crosby was here. I just had to top it off a little bit. Checked all my other fluids too. It's just a good thing to do anyways, but just make sure all that stuff's in order. So yeah, I flushed out the lines with air, drained the main tank, drained the hot water heater, made sure all the fixtures got flushed, the toilets, the sinks, the shower, the low point drain. So I think we're good to go. Again, sorry for the orientation on the video. I was preoccupied with my work, and I will try and do better next time. Please give a thumbs up and a subscribe. Help us out a lot. Thank you.